So the other night I went all the way down to London to see Melanie Martinez, and she was really, really good. Here is a clip. Afterwards, I found myself in a situation where I had nowhere to stay for the night. So as I often do when faced with these sorts of predicaments, I turned to my old trusty friend, the 24-hour McDonald's. What followed is what I can only describe as some sort of twisted version of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It was a very interesting experience, I must say. So first things first, the guy who served me when I went into McDonald's, he was overly jolly for a McDonald's employee, which was really quite disarming to begin with. He was like, "Ah, hello, yes!" He quite literally sounded like General Aladdin from the movie The Dictator. And I mean, in hindsight, that really should have been my first indicator that tonight was going to be anything but normal, but for some reason I just didn't see it. I was just like, oh look, this guy sounds like General Aladdin, this is gonna be wonderful. So usually when I do these things, people just kind of tend to leave me to my own devices. Like, I just sit in a corner, got this notepad. I generally take this opportunity to try and figure out what I'm gonna do next with my life and how I'm gonna make money to fund things, because it's a nice long chunk of time where, you know, I don't really have anything to do. I need to stay awake all night, otherwise if you fall asleep they kick you out of McDonald's and I'd be out on the streets in the cold. I didn't really want that, so gotta stay awake, gotta stay in McDonald's. But did people leave me alone to my own devices this time? No, they didn't. Oh no, they didn't. So I was sat there minding my own business, attempting to utilise the free McDonald's Wi-Fi to watch Netflix, when BAM! This German guy comes and just plonks himself right in front of me. And I mean, that's fine, like, I had a little 4-person booth thing, I didn't need 4 seats to myself. It was fine, you know, you could sit there, just leave me in my corner, right? But then he started talking to me. And at first I was kind of half replying because I expected that if I got through, you know, the few kind of small talk type exchanges, that would kind of be that, and then we'd continue on with our own little merry whatever it is we were doing. But no, it turns out he was genuinely trying to make conversation, and so I took the executive decision to close Netflix and attempt to engage in conversation with another human being, which, if you know me, is something that I am appallingly unskilled at. But then things started moving in a direction that I really wasn't anticipating. Do you know the expression, real recognizes real? It was kind of like that. It was like this strange German guy that just plonked himself in front of me in McDonald's could kind of see through me, and he could understand me in a way that a lot of people don't. Because we'd only exchanged like a few kind of back and forths, you know, and out of nowhere he started saying like, you know, you're really smart. You're smarter than most of the people that I've met, like, during my time in London. And I was like, okay, I mean, thank you, I'm flattered. He kind of just got this sense that I am destined for big things, to, like, you know, go out and make an impact on the world. And I mean, that's something that I feel myself, but not a lot of people get that. So it was kind of strange that, you know, this just random German guy just was just like, you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something special in this world. It was like, thank you, German guy. Following a really rather deep conversation about life and things like that, he became pretty adamant that I should go back to school and finish my A-levels, because he said that after that, and I quote, I could do something real and have an impact on the world. But then his 2 German friends came and sat with us, and they talked in German for a while, which was actually kind of cool because I did German at GCSE. It was like, ah yes, I can sort of get the gist of what they're saying. But then they started asking me even more deep questions, like, you know, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And do you abuse cocaine? Because if you do, I'll punch you in the face. Eventually these guys leave, you know, the night is still young, they're off to find some other local haunt and, you know, have a few drinks. And I am left kind of reeling from the discussion that we've had, but also I can return to my Netflix and caffeine consumption for all of about 5 minutes. Along comes this Chinese guy, and BAM! Plonks himself right in front of me. And I mean, that's fine. Again, you know, I've got this 4-person booth. So you just sit there, Mr. Chinese guy, and you enjoy your Big Mac, have a great night. The guy asks me, are you alright? And I mean, well, it's a very interesting question, so I guess so. I mean, I neglected to mention the preceding events, but generally I'm doing kind of okay. I'd just seen Melanie Martinez, so I was on a bit of a high. How are you doing, Mr. Chinese guy? I mean, you're doing great, right? In McDonald's, chomping away on your Big Mac at whatever time it is. I just got kicked out by my girlfriend. Here we go. Cue an even longer, deeper conversation about life and economics and the fragile state of this world that we inhabit. And this all culminated in my new acquaintance reaching a conclusion that I myself have believed for quite some time now, which is that I am trapped in the comfort zone. I've been living in this kind of little bubble for so long now, where like, I'm comfortable enough to get by, but I'm just really not happy. And so the question is, when am I actually going to take some risk and take a leap of faith? Because sooner or later it kind of has to happen. When am I actually going to build up the confidence and the courage to just go out and do that? Because as the saying goes, the comfort zone is beautiful, but nothing grows there. So if I want to continue to grow and continue to develop and achieve the things that I want to achieve, and you know, like the German guy said, make an impact on the world, sooner or later I'm gonna have to leave this little bubble and I'm gonna have to go out there and put myself in some, you know, compromising situations. So essentially, putting it bluntly, this guy suggested that I was just being weak, which I mean, I am. Because he's living here in this country conditionally, and if his visa goes tits up, then he is putting it like, he's screwed. He's screwed. But I was born and raised here in what could, to many people, be construed as a land of opportunity, and the fact that I'm not taking advantage of that is actually kind of selfish in a way. And so he basically said that whilst I'm still here in the UK, because, you know, I don't want to stay here for the rest of my life, I want to get out of this country. He said whilst I'm still here in the UK, I should find any way that I possibly can to move to London, because, and I quote, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. So eventually, my second companion takes his leave. It's like 3 AM. I'm sat here in McDonald's, and I thought I was just going to be left alone to read The Wolf of Wall Street, and to watch Netflix, and to do my notes, and try to figure out what I'm going to do in my life. It's 3 AM, and I'm having this massive existential crisis. Like, I was worried about falling asleep and, you know, getting kicked out of McDonald's, but nope, there's no worry of that right now. I'm just like... A little while later, these two girls show up, and BAM! Plonk themselves down in front of me. Thankfully, they were quite content to just keep to themselves, so I, you know, retracted into my little corner and thought that was that. It seemed like my insane night of debauchery. There was no debauchery involved, I was just talking to people in McDonald's. But it was crazy. It was crazy. I thought it was coming to an end. So this old guy comes and walks past and makes a bit of a cheeky comment to these, you know, two girls sat in front of me, as you do. But this wasn't just any old guy, right? This guy needs introduction. I'm a little bit hazy on the details, but to the best of my knowledge, he was wearing like this purple kind of vest, a burgundy suit. It looked like quite an old-fashioned suit. This really long scarf and a wide-rimmed hat. And basically, he looks like Doctor Who. But the story doesn't actually end there, because I'm pretty sure I've met this guy before. It was about 2 years ago. I was in Victoria Station. I just missed my coach, so I was stranded there. Then this guy pops up out of nowhere and asks me what date it is, which is already kind of weird. So I was like, you know, okay, it's the 24th of April, I think it was, I don't know the date. And then he hands me an all-day travel card for London and says, anywhere in London, anywhere you like. And then just disappears. Like, I blink and he's gone, like vanished off the face of the earth. This random old guy just appeared, asked me what the day was, handed me a train ticket and left. I was fully convinced that I'd met Doctor Who, like the real life Doctor Who. And I was actually going to make a YouTube video about it at the time, I just never did. But lo and behold, this eccentric guy shows up in McDonald's and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the guy. I mean, I saw him for like a few seconds, so there's no way I can be sure it's the same guy. But I swear it's the same guy. So anyway, the last thing that I'm expecting is that this eccentric guy who just appeared and I thought he was Doctor Who, is going to show up in McDonald's tonight of all nights when I'm already having this whole crazy experience. So of course, he couldn't leave. No, he couldn't. Bam! Plonks himself right down, right next to me. So, you know, it's me, these two girls, and this old guy that I think is Doctor Who. And then he starts just coming out with all these crazy stories and asking all these bizarre questions and trying to hit on the girls, and it's just mad. But then he starts talking about how I should write stories, how I should write about all the things that have happened in my life. Like, I should just write about anything that came to my mind, and I should share my stories with the world. Kind of like what I'm doing now on YouTube. He also said that I should start a story with the line, "The runway tarmac smelled of burnt coconut." Which, I mean, could certainly be interesting. Actually debating playing around with it, just because, why not? I mean, the whole night was bloody crazy. I might as well write the dude's story, right? So, I mean, that was weird. It looks like he's gonna leave, but before he does, he goes to talk to this other old guy in a hat, who I'm assuming he doesn't know. He's just like, hey look, old guy in a hat, twinsies. And then lo and behold, this other old guy comes, bam, plonks himself right next to me, and he's under the impression that the three of us, me and these two girls that I've never met, never spoken to, he thinks we're all journalists and that we're gonna interview him because he is an old guy wearing a hat. He thinks we're gonna make him famous. The reason I have a notepad is because I'm taking notes for the stories that I'm gonna write and share with the world about this old guy in a hat. But anyway, at some stage this guy ends up asking us what we do. And whereas with the other guys I've said, mate, that's a very good question, I don't have a clue. With this one, for some reason I said, I'm a musician? The umbrella term that I tend to use is that I'm an entertainer, because I've done musical theatre a lot throughout my life, and obviously I do music at the moment, and I do YouTube, I'm doing YouTube now, so I kind of just wanted this broad term that encapsulates anything that I could, you know, want to do, because generally it's within that field, so I say I'm an entertainer, right? But for some reason I decided to say I'm a musician, which resulted in me handing out a few flyers for my music, and also getting some people onto my music channel and my Facebook page. Usually I don't have the confidence to just do that, to just find random people and go, hey, please check out my stuff. It's great and you will really like it. And whilst this guy ended up inviting us all back to his hotel room to see what happened, I couldn't help but think that it was all some sort of twisted design. Obviously within the context of the Dickens novel analogy, these guys are like the visitations, like the ghosts, if you will, that are bringing out the kind of truths about myself that I've already established but almost haven't come to terms with. Couldn't help but think that this entire night, this entire crazy sequence of events, it was like the universe responding. Like I'd sat there and I was like, right, I need to find a way out of this situation, you know, I need to make money, and I need to try and figure out how I'm gonna be in a better place in future. Like if I come down to London for gigs again, how am I gonna not end up staying in a McDonald's? And it was almost like the universe responded. Like these guys came to me, like, you need to do your A-levels, you need to go out and have an impact on the world. Stop being stuck in the comfort zone, just move down here, figure it out the best you can, and you need to share your stories with the world. Like, it almost seems that every individual element of what happened that night was specifically engineered to resonate with some sort of difficulty that I'm having, and kind of show me what I'm supposed to do. Because I'm not 100% sure what I want to be doing with my life, right? I still have existential crises every day and pretty much every night, but I do think I'm getting there. I seem to be becoming a lot more focused and intentional, and I'm working a lot harder. See, the main thing that's really been a barrier to my success in the past has been the intensity and consistency of my work, but I genuinely believe that if I can kind of maintain that hustle and that high output that I'm producing right now, I can overcome any sort of obstacles that are going to come my way, because, like, I'm determined. I don't know what it is that I want to succeed at necessarily, but I'm going to succeed. Like, I have to. I'm I just hit my laptop. I'm determined. I'm determined. And I think that the same can be true for anyone. We all have some sort of purpose and we can all do whatever it is that we want to do. There is no stopping us. You and I, we are absolute. We're gonna be legends. We're gonna do great things. I believe in you. I believe in you. And I believe in me. I think that's something that's taken me a while to come to terms with, and it's taken me a while to be able to say. Because there is an inherent difference between thinking in your mind like all these big goals and dreams that you want to achieve and actually saying them and actually believing, like genuinely, like at the core. And I'm still struggling a little bit, but I think I am getting towards that. Because as the doctor said, I'm in a position where I can share my stories with the world, and where really I should share my stories with the world. And as the German guy said, you know, I should be trying to impact people's lives and help change the world. And so if anything that I'm saying can help people, or anything that I'm doing can help people, then I want to do that. I want to do that. And the kind of gimmick with the channel at the moment is that we're on this mission to reach 100 million subscribers. Genuinely, I do want to be successful on the platform. Shooting for that ridiculous target of 100 million subscribers is like a surefire way to ensure that I am putting in the work. If I don't work, then I'm never gonna get 100 million subscribers, am I? Like, you know what I mean? It's a weird one to think about. I just thought I'd share some thoughts. But you know what? Together, I think we can do some great things in the world. So leave me some comments, what your dreams are, what you believe, what you want to do. And I think together we're gonna work on them. We are gonna work on them and we're gonna make them happen. We need to grow to believe that we can reach these dreams, that we can do these things. And so, I mean, subscribe if you feel up to that. Tell some friends to subscribe, because you know we can't reach 100 million subscribers if people don't subscribe. So do that. Leave a like rating if you enjoyed my really crazy story. And yeah, I hope you're having a good day. Maybe if you have any interesting or weird or wonderful stories, maybe share them in the comments. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're doing well. And I'll see you soon.